Let's see the material that we're going to use, and we want to use 2 skeins of each color for the cowl, and we want the yarn to be medium weight. We don't want to use any thicker yarn because we're going to be crocheting with 2 strands at the same time throughout our project, and if you get thicker yarn, you're going to have a very thick result. Okay, so if you prefer a very thick result, you can go ahead and use thicker yarn, but you'll have to adjust for the sides. Now we want 2 skeins of each color. Because I did not have 2 skeins of the same brand, I'm using another brand of yarn, which is the same weight and similar thickness of yarn. Okay, and I'm going to use a 6mm crochet hook. Now let's start our project. Before we start, I want to explain how to adjust your plaid pattern to any size that you want to make your project. So in this case, I'm going to use 6 single crochet and 6 rows. Now, as many single crochet you're going to use on each square, that's the amount of rows you want to make. So if you're going to work 7 single crochet, 7 rows, 8 single crochet, 8 rows, and so on. Okay? And we want to start our project with the one color, then multicolor, then color, multicolor, and then color. Okay, the single color. So that's how I worked the cowl that I show in the beginning. Now we are only going to work a sample now, so I'm going to use only the first 3. I'm going to work only 3 boxes. But if you want to adjust to a bigger size, we always want to start with a single color and finish with a single color. So I'm going to work 6 single crochet here, 6 here, 6, 6, and 6. And because I want my pattern to have a single color and a multicolor, this right here is the rule, the multiple that I'm going to need for my pattern. So 6 plus 6, I'm going to need a multiple of 12. So right here I have a second time where I repeat the multiple of 12, and in the end I have 6 single crochet that do not fit in my multiple. So the rule is multiple of 12 plus 6 and 1 chain that I need in order to turn to row number 1, and so my pattern comes out right. So the rule is multiples of 12 plus 7. So let's start. Okay, so let's start. I've already begun with my chains. I've worked 19 chains. I need 6 for each box for my plaid stitch. So 6 times 3 is 18 because I'm going to have 3 boxes, plus 1 chain that I need to turn to row 1, a total of 19 chains. And I'm always working double strand. Now skip the first chain and go into the second one and work your first single crochet. 1, next chain, 2, next one, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, this is my 6th stitch. Now in order to finish the 6th stitch, in order to finish the 6th single crochet, I'm not going to finish with the gray color. I'm going to change color, although the 6th stitch is going to seem as if it's done with the gray yarn, but in the same time we want to change colors. So I'm going to bring my orange yarn, okay, I'm going to leave down the one gray strand, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to take through my fingers the orange yarn and one of the gray strands. Okay, and I'm going to finish the single crochet with the multicolor. So what I have over here is the 6th single crochet that it seems as if it's done with the gray yarn, but in the same time we changed colors. Now I'm working with the multicolor now, the 6 single crochet, but in the same time I want to bring with me the strand that I left out. So as I crochet my single crochet, I want to crochet in the stitches the strand of yarn. Okay, so just have the strand of yarn on top of your chains, so you're crocheting it in the single crochet. So work your 6 single crochet with a multicolor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now again, the 6th stitch, I'm not going to finish my single crochet with a multicolor. I'm going to leave down the orange yarn, and I'm going to bring up the 2 gray strands, and I'm going to take them through the 2 loops in order to finish the single crochet. So I've worked my 6th stitch. It seems as if it's done with a multicolor, but in the same time I brought up my new color, the solid color. Okay, now I'm going to work my last 6 single crochet, but in the same time I want to bring with me the orange yarn. So I'm working the last 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my last chain, 6. Now the reason that I did not change color is because I'm going to start the new row with a solid color as well, because I want to work, since I'm working 6 single crochet for each color, I want to work a total of 6 rows for every time that I want to repeat the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to work 6 rows with with the colors that I've right now, and then I'm going to change for the next 6 rows. Excuse me. So I'm going to chain one, sorry, and turn my work. Okay, now I'm going to start row number 2, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet in the first stitch, but in the same time I want to bring with me the orange yarn as well. So work the first single crochet, 1, next stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, I'm not going to finish the 6th stitch with a solid color because I want to bring the new color up to work the next 6 stitches. So I'm leaving down the 1 gray strand, doesn't matter which one, and I'm bringing up the orange. So I'm holding orange and gray yarn on my hand now, and I'm going to finish the single crochet with a multicolor. Okay, so my 6th stitch, it seems as if it's done with the gray yarn, but I brought up the new color to work the next 6 stitches. But in the same time, I want to bring with me the gray yarn that I left out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm not going to finish the 6 single crochet with a multicolor. I'm going to leave down the orange yarn, and I'm going to bring up, the gray strand again. So I'm going to finish the last single crochet with a solid color. Okay, so I finished my 6th single crochet. It seems as if it's done with a multicolor, but in the same time I brought up my solid color. So work the last 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you bring your orange color with you as you go through the stitches. 5, and the last stitch. 6. So this is how our work looks like when we finish row number 2. Now we're going to start row number 3, and we're not going to change color because we're going to continue working with a solid color. So chain 1 and turn your work. Again, we're going to work 6 single crochet with a solid color, but in the same time we want to bring with us the orange yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm not going to finish the 6 single crochet with the gray yarn. I'm going to lift down the one gray strand, okay, and I'm going to bring up the orange color. So it doesn't matter which strand you're leaving out. Okay, so I'm going to complete my single crochet with a multicolor. So I've worked my 6 single crochet with the gray yarn, and I brought up my new color. So now I'm going to work the 6 single crochet with a multicolor, but in the same time we want to bring the gray yarn with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm not going to complete with a multicolor. I'm going to leave down the orange yarn and I'm going to bring up my solid color. Okay, so I'm going to complete the single crochet with a solid color. So again, I have my 6 single crochet with a multicolor, and I've brought up my solid color. So work my last single crochet, my last 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now again we're going to start with the 6 solid colors. Before you finish the 6th stitch, you're going to bring up the multicolor. Before you complete the 6th stitch with the multicolor, you're going to bring up your gray color, and you're going to work your last 6 stitches. So we've worked together a total of 3 rows. Now I'm going to work off camera the next 3 rows because they're being worked in the same exact way as we did the first 3. So once I finish the next 3 rows, so I'm going to have a total of 6 rows with this color changing of our plaid stitch. I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to work the next 6 rows. I've worked a total of 6 rows with 6 single crochet for each square of my plaid stitch, and this is how it looks like so far. Now we're going to change colors, and everywhere that I have my solid gray, I'm going to work a multicolor, and everywhere I have the multicolor, I'm going to work solid orange, and again on top of the gray, I'm going to work the multicolor. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut one of my gray strands, doesn't matter which one. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to frog the last single crochet that I worked the 6th single crochet. Here I'm going to frog the last one, and I'm going to work it again, but this time I'm going to bring up the multicolor. So finish the single crochet with the multicolor. Chain 1 and turn your work. Work your first 6 single crochet using the multicolor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now again, the 6th stitch I'm not going to complete with a multicolor. I'm going to work a solid color, and I'm going to bring up my second orange strand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take through my fingers the orange strand and the other orange strand that I have on my work. Okay. And I'm going to finish the single crochet with the solid color. Now, as I'm working through the 6 single crochet with a single color, I want to bring with me the gray strand. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm not going to complete my 6 single crochet with a solid color. I'm going to leave down one of my orange strands, doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to bring up the gray strand. So now I'm going to work the multicolor. So I'm going to finish the 6th single crochet with a multicolor, and as I work the last single crochet, make sure you bring with you the orange strand that you left out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now again, in the last stitch, I'm not changing colors because the new row that I'm going to start is going to be with a multicolor again. So chain 1 and turn your work. Now, as you go through the rows, you'll realize that your yarns are getting tangled. So make sure every time, almost every time that you change your colors, that you untangle your yarn. So now I'm going to start row number 2. Okay, starting from the first single crochet. So it's row number 2 with the new colors, but it's row number 8 if we count from the beginning, okay? So starting from the first single crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm not going to finish my 6th stitch with a multicolor. I'm leaving out the gray strand, and I'm going to bring up the orange strand to work the solid color. So finish your 6th single crochet with a solid color. So it seems that I've worked a multicolor in the 6th stitch, but at the same time I brought up my solid color. Now we're going to work our next single crochet, our next 6 single crochet, sorry, but make sure you bring with you the gray strand. So always, just so I'm not repeating myself every time, always make sure you bring with you the strand that you're leaving out so you have it with you when you change the colors. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm not going to finish with a solid color. I'm leaving down one of the orange strands and I'm bringing up my gray strand to complete the 6th single crochet. Okay, now work the last 6 stitches of the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm not changing color in the end of the row again because I'm starting my new row with the multicolor as well. So chain 1 and turn your work. Work your first 6 single crochet with the multicolor, starting from the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm not completing with a multicolor. Leave out your gray strand and bring up the orange one. So complete your 6th single crochet with a solid color. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm not going to finish with a solid color. Leave out one of your orange strands and bring up the gray one. Okay, and finish your 6th single crochet with a multicolor and work your last 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my last single crochet, 6. Okay, so I've worked up until the 3rd row of the new color combinations that we made for the plaid stitch. Now we're going to work the next 3 rows of camera in the same exact way we worked those past 3 rows. Okay, so we've worked the 3 rows of the new color combination. It's the 9th row on my work, and I'm going to work the next 3 rows of camera. Once I finish my next 3 rows, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to bring up the first set of color combinations. I've completed my 6 rows, starting with a multicolor, orange, and then a multicolor again. And this is how my work looks like so far. So at this point, I have a total of 12 rows, 6 in the beginning and 6 that I did now. So what this pattern really is repetitions of rows 1 through 12. Now we're going to start working the repetitions of row 1 again. So what this means is that I'm going to start working the solid color everywhere I have the multicolor. Everywhere that I have the solid color, I'm going to work the multicolor again. And everywhere I have the multicolor, I'm going to work the solid color. So I'm going to cut one of the orange yarns, doesn't matter which one. Okay. I'm going to frog the last stitch. So I'm going to work the last stitch again in order to bring up the new color. So work your last single crochet, the 6th stitch, okay, and because we're going to change colors, I'm going to finish with a new color combination. So I'm leaving out the orange, and I'm going to take through my fingers the 2 gray strands and complete the single crochet with a solid color. Okay, now I'm going to chain one, sorry, and I'm going to turn my work. So now we're going to work the solid color, color gray, starting from the first stitch. One, two, three, 4, 5, and 6. Again, I'm not going to finish the 6th stitch with a solid color. I'm going to lift down one of my gray strands and I'm going to bring up the orange one. So now I'm going to work the multicolor. So grab the 2 strands and take them through the 2 loops. Okay? So now work your 6 single crochet with a multicolor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm not going to finish with the multicolor. I'm going to ring up my 2 gray strands. Let me untangle my yarn. So bring up your 2 gray strands and work your 6th single crochet. Now work the last 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1 and turn your work because we're going to continue working with our solid color. Okay, starting from the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm not going to finish with my solid color. I'm going to leave one of my gray strands and I'm going to bring up the orange strand to finish the 6th stitch. Okay, so now we're working our multicolor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to leave down the orange yarn and I'm going to bring up my 2 gray strands to finish the single crochet with. Okay, and work your last 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1 and turn your work. So this is how it looks like when we've worked the first 2 rows of the new color combination again. Now I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to work the next 4 rows because we want to have a total of 6 rows of every color combination for our plaid stitch. Okay, so I'm going to work the next 4 rows off camera, and I'm going to turn my video back on to see how our work looks like at that point and how we can continue working, repeating rows 1 through 12. I've completed working my 6 rows, and this is how my work looks like at this point. Okay, now we're going to start repeating rows 7 through row 12 in order to bring up multicolor, orange solid, and multicolor as well. So we're going to cut the one gray yarn, doesn't matter which one. We're going to frog the last single crochet. So when you're working your pattern, you won't have to frog, you're just going to bring up the new color. The reason that I do it is because I finished the row off camera, so then I have to frog the last stitch in order to start the new row, okay? So we cut the one gray strand, but before we change color, we want to work the 6th single crochet. Okay, I'm leaving out the one that I cut, and I'm bringing up the multicolor. Chain 1 and turn your work. And this is how the plaid stitch is being worked. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, please press like and leave a comment. Thanks again. Bye bye.